Guys, Vince right here, and welcome back to the VinzTalk, where I guess I'm going to talk about a couple things. And that is a big mistake on my part that I didn't upload on Fridays. Pretty much, I don't know why, but because of my work and how I get off late, I just pretty much I don't know what's the best excuse for this. It's just that Fridays mostly, I kind of been uploading less, I guess in protest of the fact that I don't get a lot of, views. I don't get paid. I don't, none of this excuses. And, there is still a part of me where let me just upload a good amount for every single, a day of the weekend. And pretty much literally in the middle of the weekend, I couldn't upload on Fridays because it's just a habit of me not uploading during those days, because especially when, and I had a good amount of videos for basically a good, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And yeah, I just forgot. I completely forgot. I don't know why that, I have, and this is on my end. Okay. This is my fault. Pretty much. I just haven't been active on YouTube as I used to in terms of upload. Listen, I've been uploading every weekend. I haven't stopped. If anything, if it was up to me, I would definitely stop for a good few weeks and then just, move on to, making something really good, quality over quantity, and pretty much every weekend. And some of you are probably oh, well, you could have just upload every single day. And I'm well, that's just hell. That's just hell. Because do you think I want to give my everything every single day and on YouTube? And I know this is probably going to make me lose a couple of subs, and I apologize, but it's I don't get a lot anymore from YouTube. Okay? You can only cheer for me and tell me to do more videos for so long, to the point where I'm literally just I can't do this. I can't, this is, I'm making zero money off of this. Especially not having my own home, and pretty much that's another thing. Just not having a place to actually record 24/7, and then I can't. So it's I'm sorry. That Nevermore freaking, Let's Read, that Boyfriends, especially if the creator of Boyfriends is taking a break. I don't know what Ray's doing, okay? But yeah, I don't know what to tell you. This, I wish there was other channels that does what I do in terms of doing every, videos every single day in terms of Let's Reads, reading content off Webtoon, but there isn't. And so people have to rely on me, which is, flattering, but at the same time, I'm I kind of have to pay the bills. So I would I would do an hour stream of Operation Love, which I might do, at some point in the future. I'm probably going to miss Operation True Love, but I can't, because I'm busy being an adult. Whose fault is that? Maybe mine, because it's pretty much me in a sense, or it's just the economy that I'm in, or it's just, I guess my mental health. I don't know, actually. I don't know what to blame. But yeah, sorry that I couldn't upload on Fridays or any days. This inconsistent way of doing YouTube is probably not a surprise to anyone. But gosh, I am not doing very well in terms of YouTube, in terms of making content, of just having to upload consistently every single weekend. It's well, I don't get paid. I'm so that's always going to be a big hinder in me when it comes down to making content. That, and the low amount of views, and the low amount of motivation, and just and there's still a lot of things I want to do on YouTube, but it's I'm so tired of waiting for my parents to actually leave when I record, when I could just record any freaking day I want, but I can't. It drives less motivation on me. And for the longest time, it has always been like that when I live with my parents. I just don't like them being involved of anything I do, or having them hear what I do. It's just not comfortable. Especially when you have a religious family that actually is listening to their son, like reading about, two boys kissing on the bed and blah blah and all that stuff. And there's a part of me where I wish that my content was different. I kind of wish I kind of did stuff like Estelle did when it comes down to uploading like every other weekend. But it's like I need to catch up. If I don't, it's gonna be much more harder work for my channel. And I don't know. No one cares about this fiasco that I'm living in when it comes down to this YouTube stuff. Other people have it harder. I know there's probably a lot of other people that have a YouTube channel that is pretty demanding, but at the same time they get no money. They have to work at their own job to support their family, but they get like bombarded with comments like, when are you gonna make the next video? And that's something that I feel like, even though that's not realistic, but I can understand other people probably have it harder. Some people really want to make you videos, but they can't because so-and-so anxiety or not having the devices, or I don't know, a good amount of things, excuses, and pretty much just that are pretty justified or relatable in my sense. But for me, hold on. I'm in downward. That's why my throat is going up to my head. But I do want to continue and pretty much try to actually upload. But knowing that if people really want it, or if there is some return, because the thing is that there's different ideas that I feel like might really change the kind of the foreseeable future of this channel later on. And at least that's what I'm hoping, because if those 3 videos that I test out fail, then, well, you know what? I'm going to just go back to actually, I don't know, trying to work on my job and pretty much whatever it is that benefits, my way of living in terms of money and surviving, But, yeah, I just ate. So I don't know why, usually, it's because I am, my throat is, in a rough place. And maybe it's because it's cold out here in this living room. As I'm recording this, that my throat is just I don't know. I can feel the cold. But I'm not going to be here too long because I did record a bunch of videos. I record one that involves me saying goodbye to Rooster Teeth, and I record another one about Yuzu and my opinions about it, and how I've been so into emulation to the most extent. I give my thoughts about Yuzu and pretty much what that's been going on. And I might share a little bit more in this video, but right now, let's talk about some news. TikTok is ending. I don't know where, who is surprised. I think it's something that has to do with this app just refusing to be sold to anywhere, or the creators of TikTok, which is, I believe, some blah 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 company from China that refuses to sell it. I don't know. The thing is, this always happens and it never really goes true. Is it really gonna happen? Is it I have criticisms with China, a lot of people do. They're complete what's I just can't take it with their government and stuff like that. Not the Chinese people, but just the politicians that are making the Chinese people suffer. And one is them trying to invade my country, in the Philippines. That's one of them that I'm also beyond pissed off with China, and I have no freaking respect for anything Chinese related itself. That's why I think I was joking around with Lunar New Year, and I just really don't care about it, blah 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 and stuff like that. But there is parts of China that or Chinese culture that I truly like. And no, it's not the food. The food's good, but it's just other aspects and other things culturally. But it's just that it's so hard to like them. It's what are you doing over there invading my islands, or at least my people's islands, and just ruining our, agriculture? And also with the whole, a bunch of other stuff involving how they deal with e-waste and stuff like that I remember reacting to. I was like, wow, that's just crazy. Now this is another one that is pretty much involving their app And TikTok, yeah, is from China. But a lot of Americans use it. But at the same time, it's like, is it gonna go or not? It's kind of like I've been waiting for this, but at the same time, I don't want it to go. I'm doing a couple things on TikTok. I'm not gonna tell you what my TikTok is. I mean, someone might find out, and someone might actually match my voice within TikTok. But I do make TikToks. I'm a dancer. Of course, I do make TikToks. It's pretty much an app that I really thought I was okay, mostly making, stuff in it. But then that whole freaking Warner Bros. Agreement, Universal Studios, or whatever freaking big corporation company or that involves music with the label, pretty much erased a good amount of songs on TikTok, making it bland. So at this point, I'm just like, and I don't have a good following on TikTok. Nobody follows me at all in there. Okay, when you have less than 100, that's not followers. That's just or it is followers, but it's so low, and there's no point of really being active on it. So I'm kind of happy that I don't have to be on active or feel guilty when I'm not active in it. Because here on YouTube is different. I feel guilty sometimes when I leave you guys. I'm not gonna lie, but with TikTok, it's well, I felt nothing because I just make a dumb video. I make one that is dancing and one that is commentary, which is reacting to anything on TikTok, and then I upload it. But I guess that's gonna be gone, and that sucks because I have a lot of freaking there's a lot of videos in TikTok that really, really sticks to my head. I discovered a lot of songs because of TikTok. A lot of dance moves because of TikTok. A lot of foodie ideas because of TikTok. And it being gone is well, what else is new? Over here, it's just it's been a hell of a week. Roosterteeth's gone. Yuzu's gone even later. And pretty much, yeah, it's a legend is gone, which I'm going to talk about later. But yeah, that's what happened in TikTok. I have no idea what's happening. I hate really talking about this, knowing that I have to put something on the thumbnail of surrounding TikTok, and I'm just man, I don't really care about TikTok itself. I just need to know what is it going or not. I don't care about the politics. And when it comes down to this video or me making these VinzTalks, I don't care about no freaking details of anything I say. Listen, I'm the type of person that tells you yeah, there was an earthquake. Okay, so moving on. I was what earthquake? How did this happen? Man, I don't know. You do realize that you're listening to this guy ramble, but whatever I say most of the time, I don't know if it has to do with I'm starting to really think is this a disability that I have, or I honestly do not feel like going into details of certain things, but there's times where I do, or maybe it's because I'm just inconsistent because I'm in a very lazy position of just me just slouching in paralysis and just talking to you guys. I'm just a blabbering chipmunk that is just I don't know. A lot of times I get this struggle, and I don't know if this is a personal thing. I don't know where this came from. This has nothing to do with news. But man, no matter how much I make sense, it still doesn't make sense. And I'm is this a disability or something? Is this imagine if me saying oh, somebody got robbed outside, and I'm just oh man, this this is crazy. Man, guess what happened? Someone got robbed, and it was happened this time, and blah 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 blah, the way I explain it, and I lose myself, and then it's just and the person that I'm talking to is what? I was did you not hear me? I don't know. I think that's the fear of me actually doing podcasting with anyone, because I'm so afraid of that moment where they look at me and be what? And I'm just oh no. I don't know if it has to do with me, with the disability, something that whatever I have, Asperger's, or maybe because I'm possessed and they just hear a talking demon just blabbering in their ear. And I'm just over here just wondering, but the obvious is just right there, but I couldn't even see it. I don't know. The same way I couldn't see how attractive I am at all, because I don't know if I am. I don't know if people looking at me or anything like that. I really have no idea, especially as a man. I don't know. Okay, especially as a queer man, I really just am confused sometimes. Everything is just losing, and I'm just making you guys confused because you probably been listening to all these Vince talks, have no idea what I just said for all these years, and I couldn't even. But the only thing that makes sense is me like, hey guys, I'm quitting YouTube. You know what I mean? Anyways, Rooster Teeth is gone, so I made a video about that. It's kind of sad, especially just realizing the amount of years that this whole YouTube is like, or at least this Vince talk or my demeanor of podcasting is heavily inspired by Rooster Teeth and a whole bunch of a bunch of things. You know, I don't know what this means for Ruby, Red versus Blue, Achievement Hunter, some of the people there. I guess they still operate, but it's just that they're losing the studio, which I'm like, well, it's kind of surprising that because they've been doing it online mostly during the pandemic. And so, yeah, rest in peace to Rooster Teeth. I feel like there's a bunch of rest in pieces in here because not only that, rest in peace, and we're going to get into the gaming news, to Yuzu, which there's another video I made about that. Go check it out. I feel like I should be doing these more. Like, doing s'mores. I feel like I should be doing these, videos of where, big news come in, topics and stuff like that. And I just make a big video about it. Or maybe just a very separate video compared to me putting this on this podcast. And I guess this is the part where I tell you to go watch it. But Citra too? And Yuzu, listen, if you're in the gaming space, emulation space, in that space, or as I call the high seas, then yeah, this sucks. But yeah, I don't know. But what I do know is that you know that you should check out that video. Anyways, moving on. FG 3000 is back, which is kind of cool. Pretty much what he been through is, I just cannot imagine that with anyone's family at all. That has to be heartbreaking. But I'm very happy and surprised that he's back on YouTube. If that was me, I would literally just quit for at least a year. But him coming back, I'm like, okay. And pretty much if I guarantee you, he's probably going to upload whenever he wants to. And I don't know if he's going to do streams or anything like that. FG is especially one of those YouTubers where it comes down to, and this is a YouTuber that reviews mobile games. And as a person that used to do mobile gaming content, I admire him. And I've been watching it for a long time. But this happening is that's hard. That's hard. But, he's going, I feel like he's getting better. He's getting a lot of good awards, and especially how he's in a game that I'm trying to play, but they just don't fix it. I'm talking about Adventurous Tree Quest. It's like, come on, can you just fix the freaking game? It's a live service game, and I know I shouldn't rely on live service games, but it's like, come on. I enjoy this game. I want to play it, but, they don't care. Because every time I try to log in, it's like, oh, no internet. Oh, no data. Oh, it's out of service. Oh, blah, blah, blah. But it works for everyone else, especially for FG. I'm like, okay, well, FG is the special one, and maybe I'm not that special. But come on. Anyways, moving on. Unicorn Overload is a game that I've been hearing good things about. So I played Unicorn Overload. What is happening with my mouth? It's a good game. And I wish I could just play it more, but with the amount of games I have, man, how is that possible? Moving on. There's this whole talk about Sweet Baby Inc. And I was like, man, I don't care about what the heck. Why is everyone talking about this? And then I look into it, from a particular YouTuber that actually did some content surrounding the whole Sweet Baby Inc. situation. It's Gamergate. They're back. Yeah, Anita Sarkeesian. Yeah, she's... The only thing I know about Anita, and I'm not very uppity about Anita, especially for somebody that is a very opinionated when it comes down to diversity and pretty much all that stuff. Like she doesn't really bother me. But what does is that I still remember that moment when Greg collabed with Arnita, and I'm just like, what is that? What is this? And also, it's the fact that it's within the realms of E3 or something. And I was just like, are you okay? I guess this is in the major studios, and I always wonder what is going on with Anita, because I feel like I haven't seen her or really know what she's doing for the longest freaking time. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. I guess another Gamergate is about, listen, I hope they do the right things. That's all I can say. Even though there's probably there's no fate of knowing where they're going to go with this. Because, when Gamergate was around, that didn't go well. And now it's just crawling out of its grave. But it's also like, anybody that writes anything, I feel like you should never cancel it. Okay? I don't think there's an instance that you should. Because, the people will speak for itself if they want to see it or not or whatever. Listen, when it comes down to writing or creating a movie, creating a video game, an anime, or anything like that, there shouldn't be an organization to cancel it. I feel like the one should cancel it that is the one that is the studios or like A24. But there's something wrong with Hazbin Hotel, which there isn't anything wrong. But if it was, Gamergate shouldn't ban it. No, it should be A24, the ones that are part of working on it, or any studio that works on a movie, on a video game, or anything else. I don't know what Gamergate is doing when it comes down to actually stopping that. It's like, well, you're just canceling them. You're just a group that is like protesting about nagging about because this thing offends you. This thing offends you. And this I feel like in this world, why are we still offended about certain things? There's times where we just have to freaking move on. And there's times where, I'm not offended by any other certain things that I have seen on Webtoon because they're not offensive. They're meant to be there because they are telling a story. And the normal person that actually deserves to be on Webtoon, at least for the good amount of Webtoons, anime, video games, anything, any sort of media that I've been watching, playing, and stuff like that, is pretty much doesn't have any material that is beyond negativity to the point where I feel like there needs to be an organization to cancel it. It's like, well, what? Yeah, Sweet Baby ain't going after this and this, not recommending this and this, but it's like, who really cares? Because the thing is that the media speaks for itself. There's some things where it's cringy and it's okay, I don't think this should be here, but I don't know. Actually, that I feel like that's what Sweet Baby Inc. is going for. At least that's what I think. But at the same time, I don't care. Moving on, the Fallout series is doing good. There's this TV series involving the Fallout games. And I would watch it, but I feel like I really need to play a good amount of the Fallout games before I watch it. Or maybe just watch it after this. I don't freaking know. I feel like I want to watch something, okay? I've been catching up to a bunch of animes, and we're just going to get into the animation space. I've been catching up to Metallic Rogue. That is a good anime. Good cyberpunk style anime. And also, been catching up to some older ones like Kimi no Todoki, I think it was called. Yeah, an anime that I used to watch a long time ago. Speaking of a long time ago, I've been really trying to finish the Maria Sama series, or Maria Watches Over Us in English. Man, this thing doesn't feel old at all. Just nostalgia, just how angelic it is and stuff. I might do a video about it and all that. And also this weird one, Twin Tails. Man, that was just type anime Twin Tails and boom, this anime might come up. If you know, you know. It's a silly, just dumb premise, but I love it. But yeah, speaking of anime, I guess this is the last. I wouldn't say I saved the best for last, but I gotta talk about the GOAT and pay homage, or just give my condolences. Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball Z, has sadly passed away in the age of 68. And I believe this happened yesterday or 2 days ago. I'm not sure, but I heard about it yesterday. And yeah, this is kind of sad. The thing is that if this was Oda, I would make a separate video about this. And this is not me being mean to, Akira. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. But I have to say this, that, Dragon Ball Z, I was never into. It was one of those animes where it's I'm one of those people where everybody chooses pepperoni, and I'm the one that's gonna choose anchovies or any other flavor that people are not really used to. And that's the same thing with anime. I don't really choose the main animes. That's why it took me this long to choose One Piece. And I love One Piece now because I watch it. But I guarantee you I would actually do the same for Dragon Ball Z. It has always been in the back of my head. I'll never forget this moment when I actually talked to a friend that doesn't like anime, and I was kind of like iffy about it or something because I was in an age where I just kind of, for whatever reason, cared about what people's opinions are. I don't know why. But he said, like, man, anime sucks, blah, blah, blah. Anime is trash, all this stuff. And I said, like, what do you mean, man? I was like, anime is fire, man. Have you seen Dragon Ball Z? And he was like, wait, that's anime? Oh, crap. And yeah, just like that, as an anime fan for this long, because that was years ago, as I still remember, I was like, yep, that's what I thought. Anime is awesome. And because of DBZ, and of course, other animes can really be part of that. In DBZ, at least personally for me, is not an anime that I cared about. But I would be lying to say that I never seen it, because I seen it as a kid. I still remember at my grandma's house as I'm watching, whatever's on TV and stuff like that. And this was in the Philippines. This was actually the what is it called? Animax, which is, for those that are Americans, you have no idea what Animax is. If you go to any other country that is not, the United States or Canada or something like that, and maybe Canada has it, but there's this TV program called Animax. That's where I discovered anime in its whole entirety, because it's basically Toonami but during the day. And I would watch so much anime from that, from Sergeant Frog, Maria Watch Over Us, Sailor Moon, One Piece, you name it. Soul Eater, I discovered that from there. And also Dragon Ball Z. Watching it, my grandma was like, what is this? And I'm just looking at it like, oh my God, what is their faces? What is that creature? It's so green. Piccolo. And yeah, pretty much like that's kind of like my memories of Dragon Ball Z. And also the video games were cool. I did play it when I was a kid. I believe like at a school club. I think it was like a video game club or something like that at a high school that or middle school. I forget. But it was a long time ago. It was like, I think it was Tensei or something, or some freaking Dragon Ball Z game on the PS2. And I saw him play it. I played it and I was like, whoa, this is beast. And I always envy of just like Dragon Ball Z fans, because they're getting a good amount of eats when it comes down to Dragon Ball content, when it comes down to the references, when it comes down to the clothing, when it comes down to the style of the anime, the music, and everything else. And this guy creating all of that from scratch, like that is so inspiring. As a writer, I am truly inspired by Oda and Akira and other creators like this. It made me inspired to actually make my own stuff, my own anime, which one day I hope that will come true. But man, it's sad. It's sad, that spark and stuff like that, and this is like the same thing, same feelings when Monte passed away, the creator of Ruby. Like, it's sad to just hear this and also just think about like all the work that they did, all the stuff, and also like me knowing that it's never going away, it's still gonna continue on, but also the creator is gone. Like his art, the part of him or the world, or at least from his heart. And I guess that's the thing about writers, and especially from Japan. Like, man, they create a freaking world where it's like it truly is like another planet, where they make it and you think about it. And I still think about it, especially not being a DBZ fan. And I just have to say, like, man, that is inspirational. That is beautiful. Like, I hope for the best for Akira's family, relatives, and also the fans of Akira, and hope for the best for all of them. And pretty much, yeah, rest in peace to Toriyama. Thank you. Anyways, so pretty much that's it for this VinzTalk. pretty roller coaster of like emotions, of blabber, and I don't even know anymore, guys. This podcast, just like life, goes where it goes. Anywhere, everywhere, or maybe nowhere. But other than that, I'll see you when I see you. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. I'll see you when I see you. One love. God bless.